Don't let the Florida fall fool you. Adrian here with Launchpad Services, where our services are out of this world. We're a local HVAC company here in Central Florida, serving Palm Bay, Melbourne, and the surrounding communities, including Orlando and Port St. Lucie. So today we're talking about the importance of maintenance during the fall season. Some people are like, man, great, summer is done, the heat's off, I can relax, I don't even have to worry about it anymore. But little do you know that this is the worst time to take your eye off the ball when it comes on to maintenance, because your system will still require a lot of runtime to take care of the humidity that's going to still be present in our Florida streets. The fact of the matter is, where we live, we're surrounded by water. We're one of the most subtropical climates in the United States. And our biggest fight, yes, is heat, but our second largest fight is humidity. And now, when you compound that with the rain season, there you have it. It's a sweat fest. We're going to always feel uncomfortable. Why? Because now our air conditioners are not activated as often as they normally would. And so we'll be forced to set them down even lower. So what we're seeing now with the lack of movement of air, because our homes are not triggered by heat to turn on the air conditioner, now we are still feeling that discomfort. And so we will require and will still use our air conditioners more often than the typical using rate. So therefore, you'll still have, usage that is above the average because of high humidity. You cannot not focus on maintenance during this time of year, because you will ignore the fact that your system is not going to turn on, and it really doesn't at the rate that it used to, causing you to feel uncomfortable. So now you're going to have to turn it down. So it may wind up running more often than you did in some cases prior. Number two, fall tune-ups are super important to prevent a lot of breakdowns that are to come in the winter. Yeah, I know we live in Central Florida, but I have lived to see ice on my windshield when I was waking up one morning going to work, and I could not believe that we had ice on our windshield. We do have 28, 29, 30-degree temperature at some points. And the problem with that is it hits us in the gut with our no heat situation, is that we're so dependent on cooling. We take our eye off the ball when it comes on to maintenance and making sure our heaters are working for the summertime. So now is the perfect time to make sure your heating system is working, and also to make sure that everything regards to your HVAC system as a whole is working. Because even in December, we still use air conditioning in some days when we have warmer days. I've seen 90-degree December days before. It's weird. And that's why we won't take any chances in regards to how we approach maintaining and paying attention to our HVAC system, even in the fall season. Next point is indoor air quality. I can never forget this image in my head of this lady that I went to her home maybe 7 years ago. I think it was down in South Florida. She came to the door. She looked really groggy, really sick, really low energy. She just pointed to the system. Hey, it's over there. Have at it. She went back to her room. I went to work. When I opened that system, the air handler was super matted with biological growth. I'm not talking dust, and I'm not talking anything other than biological growth. It was completely covered under the coil, on the blower housing, in the cabinet, on the blower wheel. Oh my goodness. It was super bad. And having shown that to the homeowner, she revealed something very shocking to me. She said, no wonder my allergies are so bad. No wonder I feel so terrible every time I come home, but every time I go to work, I'm perfectly fine. And we discovered the thing that was impacting her life even more negatively than versus if our air conditioner wasn't working. Sometimes because we feel we got out of that summer heat and the system works, then we don't have to worry about it again for the rest of the year. Well, my friend, I have news for you. That is not true. You need attention. Your system needs to be completely assessed from an indoor air quality standpoint because whenever we have so much humidity and we have limited run times and all that humidity sits in the home, that humidity is a breathing ground for mildew and mold-like biological growth. And when you find that you have allergies, respiratory issues, coughing, sneezing, asthma, itchy eyes, runny nose, scratchy throat, it could very well be your air conditioning system. And so this is why don't sleep on the fall system in terms of how you pay attention to your HVAC system. Number four, your energy bills are always going to be a point of contention in Florida, whether it's just a bunch of run times in the summer or it's simply turning your heat on in the winter. You got to pay attention to the insulation value in your home. You got to pay attention to the ducts, making sure that they're properly sealed, ensuring that every air loss is addressed. There's not even an argument against going into the attic at that point because a lot of companies really don't do work during the summertime in attics. The fact is, it's super hot, it's unsafe. It's not the best place for any service provider to be in the heat of the summer. So in many cases, some of the most appropriate time frames to get your ducts and your insulation and your air distribution system checked or worked on is going to be in the winter or fall season when things are not that hot because you want to get the best job. You don't want to be in a situation where the guy is just trying to get out of there and he's not doing it correctly. So this is usually the best time to get airflow checked and air distribution checked. By the way, in terms of energy consumption, you'll find that old-fashioned duct systems that were fitted with new systems, they're not always aligned in terms of what the system is designed to do from an output standpoint. Old-fashioned duct systems were designed for old-fashioned machines. And now that we're 30 years down the line, you may want to consider relying on an expert to get into your attic to do a heat load calculation, to do an airflow assessment, to do a air distribution metric to determine whether or not you need to redistribute air or rebuild duct systems or just entirely get the whole thing all done over and reinsulated so you're getting the best energy usage and the best or least wear and tear out of your machine. And everything ends up coming down to efficiency. The machines are designed in laboratory environments where ductwork and airflow is perfect. But then we put them in somebody's home that has maybe 75 to 50% restrictions in terms of the comparison between what was in the lab and what's in the home. And now we have to address the duct system to give you the maximum efficiency. So even sear this and sear that, it really does not get properly assessed or properly measured until the right duct system or air distribution system is implemented. And that's just a fact. All right. Number five, your heating safety is important. The fact is, you're going to turn your heat on one day. It's going to get, before you know it, it's going to be December. It's going to be January. It's going to be one of those high cold months. And what's going to happen is you're going to turn it on. You're going to smell a burning smell. You're going to freak out and you're going to call the fire department. And that's probably because nobody ever turned your heat on yet. And all that dust and all that same biological buildup that we just talked about is so inundated on your heating element. It's like a toaster oven element, and it's inside your machine. And you're going to turn that sucker on, and it's going to get super hot and red, and it's going to whoosh, and you're going to see all that smoke coming out of your vents. You're going to feel completely uncomfortable. Whereas it would have probably been better if you got your system checked and got your heating mechanism checked on a fall tune-up to get that thing checked out. It's very possible that it could be addressed at that time. It's very possible that your heating mechanisms may not work. It's also very possible that you may have a furnace that's leaking gas, and the worst time to know about that is when it's the start middle of the heating season, and now you're going to have to go through an uncomfortable few days before having to deal with this issue. Or you may have the worst happen. A fire may ensue as a result of your heating mechanisms not being checked and making sure that the safety of all those specific areas are addressed. So don't get it twisted. Even though we made it through the winter, the summer season, the winter is coming, and between the winter and the summer is the fall. Even manufacturers will tell you that every 6 months it is recommended that you have maintenance done with your system. Preventative maintenance. Preventative maintenance is going to be one of the most important aspects of keeping your system going. And we usually have it pre-summer. This is actually pre-winter. So if you are ever curious about getting preventative maintenance done to your system, if you're living in the Central Florida region, give us a call. You can always take advantage of our $49 tune-up special that we have going on. You can reach us at 321-375-5582, or you can just reach out to us in this very video. Just hit us up, give us a direct message, and we'll be more than happy to reach out to you. If you're anywhere between Palm Bay, Melbourne, Orlando, Port St. Lucie, we'll be more than happy to come and see you. Send one of our expert professionals out there to ensure that they are able to go through our 21-point precision checklist with you to ensure that your system is working well. Do not let the Florida fall fool you. It is the most deceptive time to take your eye off the ball when it comes on to your air conditioning and your home comfort needs. This is your boy and friend Adrian with Launchpad Services. Feel free to holler at us if you need anything. And every single time you see one of these videos, please give us a like, shoot us a comment, subscribe to all our channels so that we can continue to show up in your feed, giving you constant information that's going to help you to be the king and or the queen of your scene. Have a wonderful day, and we'll talk again about home comfort with Launchpad Services. Bye-bye.